Uh, so obviously, there's been a lot of talk that Man United want like a forward, a midfielder, and particularly a centre back. Uh, there's been a lot of talk about Raphael Varane wanting to maybe leave Real Madrid because he's only got a year left on his deal. Do you think that United could be one of his options, or do you think that he's going to stay at Real and he's just asking for a pay rise, basically?
Real Madrid will fight to keep Varane. They have a complicated situation with Sergio Ramos, still to be decided. They are negotiating with David Alaba as a free agent, but they will fight to keep Varane and to have him as a centre back for the next season. Because losing in the same season both Varane and Ramos would be complicated. So they will try to keep Varane. It won't be easy, I would say, about the contract because, as you say, the contract expires in 1 year. And at the moment, the situation with Varane is there is still no agreement to extend the contract. He has now a new agency. He signed his contract with a new agency who is so close to English clubs. So, possible they will have some opportunities. But at the moment, there is still nothing serious because Real Madrid will fight to keep Varane. For sure, Manchester United would love to have Varane, but I would say who not, because we're talking about an amazing player. But at the moment, there is still nothing advanced or decided with Raphael Varane.
Yeah. Uh, so obviously, there's always been that talk of United wanting Varane for nearly a decade now, I think. Who do you think United's biggest target for centre back is? We've obviously heard a lot of Pau Torres from Villarreal. Like, is there any genuine, uh, just genuine belief that they might be able to get him, or are they looking at other centre backs?
And they have some options. They have like a list and they will consider about the opportunities. So one name could be Sven Botman of Lille. He was in the list also of Tottenham and Liverpool last summer. The most appreciated probably is Kounde of Sevilla. He's an interesting one, but also about the price for Kounde is complicated. We're talking about 80 million euro for the close, so it's really complicated for Kounde in this moment. So they have a list. Kounde, Botman. Remember also about Pau Torres, who is an appreciated player, but let's see if they will decide to go for him or not. And I would mention also Milenkovic, but at the moment I see a lot of rappers of Milenkovic close to join United. Is not true. There is nothing advanced. So they have a list with many names, and they will decide in the summer. Let's see what happens in this case, but they have many names, and they will go for a centre back. Yes.
Uh, so I just briefly touched on Pau Torres then as well. Is there anything to do with his release clause or anything? Like, obviously he has one because he plays in La Liga, but is there anything going to be affected if Villarreal miss out on European places? And do you
I
think there's
think
any talk of Eric Bailly like swapping over? Maybe like obviously he has Villarreal links, so
To be honest about the swap deals of Bailey, I don't know, and I think it will be something different for other clubs and not for VRL. But about Pau Torres, I think in general, also 1 year ago he was close to leave the club because he had proposal. Then they decided to keep the player, but also Manchester City were looking at him before going for Ruben Dias. And now it's different, and I think now he knows that he has the opportunity to leave the club. And so, in general, about what happens in Europe, I think he will leave the club, and because a lot of top clubs are interested, and so there are chances for Pau Torres to leave. And let's see if joining Manchester United or any other club, because at the moment Manchester United have not decided yet about the centre back, and so they will go for sure they will go for one, but they have to decide about the top target, and they always have a meeting at the end of the season, so in the middle of May, and they will decide for the top target and how go with the negotiations.